Action.
I was running, I called it living in the rat race, and I thought I was winning, but I could not get out of the fast lane. I was bone dry, mud in your eye, crossed my heart and hope to die. It's
something that continues that family-friendly, wholesome entertainment that hopefully you can enjoy as a family. And there's some great lessons and great stories and great characters that I think you'll be able to really just come alongside and watch these characters flourish, follow the story, and see where it ends.
I wanna be a Mayberry man. I was big city, Hollywood and Vine, trying so hard to have me a good time. Every party started looking the same. Goodbyes, bloodshot eyes, blinded by the sunrise, and something took me by surprise.
There's some shenanigans that goes on behind the scenes.
How do you do? May I have this dance? Father walking and talking and holding your hand.
I know there's other classic films like The Godfather and Apocalypse Now, but this is Mayberry Man, seriously. Take a look at the mailbag while we're waiting here. Yeah, something from the state controller office. That can't be good. And look, we've got our Medicare prescription numbers, so I can finally get me a little bit of those anti-statins for my high cholesterol.
I'm saying yes, sir, yes, ma'am.
Oh, it's real!
It's going to be an amazing show.
They're going to laugh and chuckle and have a good time.
I'm a Mayberry man.
Small town life, small town characters, the humor in the small things that people do every day, and the love they have for one another. And that is the star. Not a script, not a set, not a bedazzling special effect, but the people. And that is something that I think, we need to get back to, is the importance of people, just the love of people. And this does that.
I just hope that everyone falls in love with this project like I did, and that we can continue to make family-friendly entertainment that's obviously much needed.
I guarantee this, if you love the Andy Griffith Show, you're going to love Mayberry Man.
And welcome, folks. Alan, thanks for joining me again.
As always, love to be here. Thank you.
So we heard a little bit from Karen Knotts there. You're going to be seeing Karen pretty soon, aren't you?
I am. Yeah, we're going to be heading over to Granville, Tennessee this week, just the next few days here for the Mayberry I Love Lucy Festival. And yeah, Karen will be there, and Dixie, Dennis Rush, Keith Thibodeau. Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. All the tribute artists will be there too.
That's in Granville, Tennessee, right?
That's right. Yep. Near Cookeville. Nobody knows where Granville is. It's near Cookeville, Tennessee.
Oh, because everybody knows where that is.
Well, more people know where it is.
So tonight we're going to do a little Q&A. After I do these lives, I often get emails with questions from people. So it's like, why don't we just answer questions on the live? So throw those into the comments section. I'm sure Alan will help me bird dog those, and we'll address them. But before we do that, so we do have a clip of the week to share from the series. And I wanted to give a quick update on the series. Now, we're going to be doing our pre-release online screening on Wednesday, April 24th. So instead of doing our normal live stream, we'll be doing our online screening that night. So that's going to be exclusively for donors. So I imagine most of the people that watch these regularly are already Indiegogo donors or investors or whatever. But we do have this VIP virtual meet and greet, which is a new perk. It's not part of the old Indiegogo campaign. So that's part of our current marketing fund efforts. So that's the only way you get to go to that. Unless, of course, you're a star of the series like Alan, he'll be there. And then at 8 o'clock Eastern time. These are Eastern time, 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. And then we'll be sending out a separate link ahead of time for the actual pre-release online screening. And it'll be all 5 episodes of the series. And so for that, the 8 p.m. screening, all donors to the series do get an invite to that. So if you weren't part of one of our red carpet screenings or couldn't make it, you'll get a chance to see the entire series, all 5 episodes before anybody else. And you're probably ready to see it again, right, Alan?
I am. Yeah. I think I've seen it twice, I think. But it was a little while back. So yeah, I'm anxious to see it again. Cause I don't remember what I said in this show. So if you're watching this and you didn't donate to the Indiegogo campaign or whatever, and wanted to be a part of that, we are doing a little fundraiser. It's not the major Indiegogo campaign, but we're trying to raise some money for marketing, because we do have the series that's going to be released in May. We actually got a date. I'm still waiting for it to be published, like on website somewhere, but I was told Thursday, May 30th, I think is that date. So the end of May, and it'll be on Up Faith and Family. So that's a subscription service, kind of like Netflix, or so you have to be a subscriber, but they do have like a 14-day free trial. So anybody can sign up for that and then cancel if you don't want to keep it. But great Faith and Family, streamer, kind of like a PureFlix. But don't go sign up now. You won't. Your free trial won't last long enough. So you need to wait. or they just have to pay for it. By the way,
yeah. Well, they can.
We got PureFlix when Mayberry Man came out on PureFlix, and we still have PureFlix. So that's good. It worked well for them.
Yeah.
So let's do the same thing for Up. That would be good.
There you go. And then we're working on possibly, we're waiting to hear back from Amazon. So we hope to put it on Amazon as well. But so there, one other bit of news, some things that have been happening sort of behind the scenes with Facebook. And there's a chance that if you watch these lives inside of one of our Facebook groups, so sometimes I send it to Mayberry and Beyond. Sometimes I send it to the Mayberry Man donor group from the movie. They're changing Facebook technology to where we may not be able to do that anymore. So you're going to want to make sure you're following our Facebook page. We should still have no problem streaming it to the Facebook page. But if you're only seeing these because it pops up in one of the groups you're in, that could go away. And then of course, YouTube, we always stream to YouTube. So I just wanted to give a little heads up on that, because that's a change that's coming down, I think, on April 22nd.
Oh, that's good to know. I didn't know that either. So
I didn't know it until this week. But there's a lot of people that live and die by Facebook group activity, and they're all up in arms over it. So
yeah, I bet. Yeah, Facebook does this to us every once in a while, but we'll live and learn. We just got to get everybody over there and make sure you go and like the Facebook page for the Mayberry Man movie.
Yeah, all the important stuff we put on the Facebook page anyway. But Facebook doesn't necessarily put that in your feed unless you're interacting with it. Like if you like our content and you interact and comment and like and all that, they'll keep showing it to you. So please do that. So I got a couple of clips, one from the series, but I dug up an old outtakes reel, Alan, that you're sure to appreciate.
Oh, this is good.
So let's take a look at some of Alan's earlier work on the Mayberry Man movie, if I can find it on here.
Yeah, this will be good.
And action.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Hey, people are always wondering where Floyd gets his haircut. Well, when I'm not in Mayberry, I go by Great Clips. Oh, it's going to be great there. It's Great Clips of where? Central. I almost said Northern. Oh, yeah. People are always wondering where Floyd gets his haircut when he's not in Mayberry. Well, I go by Great Clips of Central Indiana and where? Louisville. God. All right, I got it. Oh, hello there. People are always asking me where Floyd gets his haircut when not in Mayberry. Well, I drop by Great Clips of Central. Oh, that's nice. Hello. People are always wondering where Floyd gets his haircut when he's not in Mayberry. Well, I drop by Great Clips, of Central Indiana and Louisville. Oh, nice. Oh, it's good. Yeah. They have, I've always wanted 2 chair shop. They've got a bunch of chairs. Oh, yeah. It's going to be great at Great Clips.
You left out the best part because right after that, Court goes, okay, now we need to do it for Central, other places. And I was like, really?
Georgia, Florida, and Tennessee.
He did it with a straight face too. So, that was pretty fun.
Well, we threw those lines at you at the last second, so
well,
understandable.
It was pretty fun though. Yeah, I just kept forgetting which Central when.
Yeah. So we got a few questions to start off, and we'll keep kind of checking back on the comments to see what else we got before we get to our clip of the week. But just again, real quick, because in case people missed it, I want to remind you the online premiere is the actual screening of the series is at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And if you're going to do the virtual meet and greet, that'll start at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So it's going out to everywhere at the same time. Chances are we'll probably figure out a way to sort of leave it active for 24 hours in case you can't join us live. Still looking at the technology aspect of it and where we're going to host that. But to be safe, plan to join us live. And then I'm thinking, Alan, we'll try to what I want to do is like show an episode and then interrupt it with like, have a cast member on and make, have some comments, and
that would be really good.
Kind of break it up a little bit. So it's not just this long play thing, but that's a bigger scheduling deal. So I know you'll be around.
I will. I'll be watching it. I'll be sitting there watching it with you guys. We did have and you've already answered it. I had the question from, Kenneth Green was asking when the time zone was going to be. He's in the Pacific time zone. So hopefully you can translate from Eastern time to Pacific.
Yeah, that's 3 hours earlier. So 5 o'clock. So knock off work early, head home. Happy hour with the Mayberry Man series.
Yeah, that's just sweet tea is what that is for us, by the way. That's how that works.
All right, so let's pull up a question. This is a question we get a lot, right, Alan?
It is, yes.
Why were there no original cast members in the Mayberry Man movie? And are they in the series? You want to answer that? You know the answer.
Yeah, well, the main reason they weren't in the movie, we were going to have cast members in the Mayberry Man movie. But then, it was during COVID. So basically that kind of shut down a lot of that all of it really. We couldn't have the cast members couldn't travel. They're generally they're older. So they were more susceptible to the COVID virus. So they were not able to do it. And yes, in the series, we do have at least one cast member. Do we have more?
Well, we have Ronnie Shell.
We have Ronnie
who appeared in the show. And, oftentimes we forget Karen Knotts, obviously she's Don Knotts' daughter, but she was in Return to Mayberry. So
that's right.
She is a cast member.
That's right. She was Opie's secretary at the newspaper where he worked. That is exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I came across a comment on one of our posts or something the other day, and someone was, said they were disappointed there weren't more references to Mayberry RFD and Return to Mayberry in the Mayberry Man movie.
Yeah. Well, if you'll remember in the actual Return to Mayberry TV movie that Andy made, they didn't make very many references to Mayberry RFD either. For instance, he had a child with Helen named Andy Jr. He wasn't even in Return to Mayberry. They made no reference of him at all. So, they kind of didn't do that. And I think that's probably why in the Mayberry Man movie, we did the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think Stark was really just focused on the original source material, right? And even, I mean, we had some references to the color episodes, but I would say most of the emphasis was on the black and white first 5 seasons.
Right.
And
he did have things. He did have things like right above my head, right there, the wrap nuts, the grape nuts box. Those, if you go and watch the episodes of the Andy Griffith Show in color, you will see those. Those are the exact products. Even I think the corn and I can't tell, peaches. I think the other.
Well, that's where he was able to get really good reference images of, was it Foley's Market at that point?
Yeah.
Was it earlier? I always called it Crowley's Market.
Crowley,
Was it Crowley's earlier in the series?
Yeah, well, it was Crowley's in the color episodes because Mr. Crowley was the one that I believe Opie's when he was competing for the job. You guys in the chat room can tell me if I'm wrong, but
So maybe that's where I got
Crowley. Yeah, so I think if you call it Foley or Crowley's, either one, people are going to be pretty happy with those answers.
Okay. And yeah, but going back to Return to Mayberry, I do remember when that was made, and Dud Wash was disappointed, frustrated, angry that he was not invited back. So there was no mention of Dud Wash. All right, next question we got. Why was the movie not filmed in Mount Airy, North Carolina? Well, and that's Andy's hometown. And I mean, first of all, part of it was, we made a big effort to involve Mount Airy as much as we could. And I try not to be too, this comes up, in social media and stuff. And, people take it personally that we didn't film the whole thing in Mount Airy. Mount Airy is not a production hub. It's not an entertainment capital of the world. And so it's very difficult to do production there. Yeah. And there's only so much, so many resources. And, our original idea was to do it during Mayberry days, but it's tough because that's when the fans are there and when they can participate, but that's not a lot of availability of locations and things like that. So we had to be very careful about not stepping on the toes of the festival and all that. So, but then I need to remind people, it's like the Andy Griffith Show was not filmed in Mount Airy.
That's right.
It was filmed in Hollywood.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I feel like we made a really Herculean effort to kind of get to those, authentic roots of the series. And of course, people get mad. It's like Indiana, it had nothing to do with Indiana. Well, there was a festival in Indiana, and right. they were enthusiastically helping us to do it. And the town in Danville, Indiana, it probably looks more like Mayberry than I would say Mount Airy does.
I agree with that. Yeah. And I'll tell you the other thing Danville looks like. If you guys ever go there and go see the locations where we actually filmed the movie, it looks a lot like Back to the Future, the courthouse and everything, even down the road. It's not right at the end of the street, but there's a movie theater right at the end of the square, right beside the giant courthouse with a clock on it. But yes, it does have a more Mayberry feel to it than Mount Airy, because Mount Airy doesn't really have that downtown square type feel to it that Danville does.
I would say for a film, it worked better, visually.
Right.
I think for a Mayberry feeling, if you're going to be there, I think the Mount Airy gives you that. If you're a tourist and you visit, you get definitely you get that Mayberry vibe.
Oh, definitely. Well, there's just so many things in Mount Airy that are Mayberry related from the actual show and places around the entire area. I mean, there's Mayberry, Virginia, where we filmed Chris Stone going and meeting the old man at the trading post.
The Mayberry Trading Post, where Andy's grandparents used to pick up their mail. I mean, there's a lot of authentic locations that we did use in the movie. So I don't know. I feel like we did everything we could under the circumstances. And, you can't please everybody, right?
No. Hey, just as a quick throwback, Jeff Gossett mentioned that the best tip of the hat to the color episodes of the Andy Griffith Show was the fact that Barney, his real name's Warren.
Right.
That's funny, isn't it? That's funny. Yeah. So, but that was obviously a nod to the color episodes.
Absolutely. And then one more question, then we'll go to the clip of the week. Was the real squad car actually the one in the from the Andy Griffith Show? The real squad car, meaning the one that they go and visit.
It's real.
Yeah. And no, it was not not a real. There isn't one that we know of, is there?
The only one that we know of is at Melody Ranch. It's supposed to be an actual car that had been a Mayberry squad car at Melody Ranch out in California, and it's in bad shape at this point. We saw some photos of it. I think Stark went out there, and there's pictures of it, but it's kind of rusted. It's been redressed as different kinds of cars over the years, and it's not in very good shape. But the story goes that it was actually a production car on the Andy Griffith Show, and then Gene Autry, who owned Melody Ranch at the time, he got the car, and so that's why it's at the ranch. Now that's the story. I don't have any affidavits claiming it, but that's the only car that is possibly actually a car from the Andy Griffith Show. All these, you go to these events and you see them, and they always say from the Andy Griffith Show. They're not really. I won't say they aren't, but the way we always tell it's when people ask us, we say, well, the guy we bought it from didn't say it wasn't on the Andy Griffith Show. That's how you say it. So
yeah. Well, and people then speculate, well, it wasn't one of the Mayberry squad cars, and maybe it was one of the government state police cars or something like that. I don't know, unless you have VIN numbers and stuff, because they would say it's like the policy was, Ford would give them the cars for the season, then they would send them back to Ford and they would repaint them and sell them.
Right.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not that much of an expert, but.
And my understanding was there was no way to track them back then because the VIN numbers, car guys would have to, but I understood that they said that there weren't VIN numbers on some of the cars before a certain year.
Well, you're going to be at the Squad Car Rendezvous or whatever it is, Squad Car Nationals this weekend. So you'll need to look for some VIN numbers. Verify that.
That's right.
All right, so I got the clip of the week from the series that this was so you as Alan, what is your position in the township? Are you a clerk or what?
I am the town manager. I am the town manager of the city of Mayberry, the town of Mayberry.
Town manager. So you and Warren, the Barney tribute artist, Warren, you're trying to come up with a solution for this water crisis that's going on in Mayberry, and we won't get into the details of that, but there's a water crisis.
Right.
Mayberry needs water. So here's a solution a possible solution that Warren comes up with.
Oh, spirits of Andy and...
Oh, I was just looking for the bathroom.
It's a courthouse.
It's just a replica.
Will you nip it, Alan? Oh, spirits of Andy and Bon. Oh, a dowser.
A what?
A dowser. It's a guy who uses a divining rod to find water.
What's a divining rod?
Man, you need to get out more. A divining rod. It's a forked stick. You walk around your property, and when it gets over water, it starts to point down. I mean, people have been using dowsers and divining rods since the beginning of human civilization, ever since humans started trying to find water. A dowser.
A dowser.
Yeah.
That's great. Do you know a dowser?
No.
Oh, that was a fun scene to shoot. That was a lot of fun.
Well, and that was shot there in Mount Airy.
It was in the courthouse. Yeah,
the replica courthouse.
It's just a replica. That's right. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Rick, in the series, he had more lines like that where he had like fairly long. That was a fairly long dialogue he had, and he was going, oh, now I know why you was having trouble in some of the movie screens, because I usually had the longer dialogue, and he'd go, really? And then I would say something. He'd go, oh, and this time I was like, what? It's a dowser. I just didn't have. I had like a couple of lines, And so he told me, he said, now I understand.
So let me grab a question out of the comments here real quick. Kenneth Green asks, has Ron Howard himself commented on the movie or the show? So not to me. but I haven't talked to him. So
Right. Right. I doubt he's had time to watch it. I mean, I don't know that at all, but
well,
yeah,
he might
he
in the
might.
next week or two. He might.
He might. You
You
know,
never know.
you never know. Yeah, fingers crossed.
Anything could happen.
That's right.
Let's see. There's another question in here that I wanted to pull up, but let me go back to my other screen here. Somebody asked about, the soundtrack. Will the movie soundtrack be released? Music publishing is a whole different deal. Basically, when we create music for a film, or we license certain tracks for the film, the publishing's all over the place. That's like producing another movie from a legal standpoint, and there's no money in releasing the soundtrack to Mayberry Man. So it's just not going to happen. But we did post it all on YouTube. So you could, theoretically, you could go pull all that music and create your own soundtrack.
Well, yeah, you can create a playlist on YouTube of the audio. Not that well, yeah, I did do that. There is a playlist. You can do
I
that.
feel like maybe we created a playlist on our channel too.
You did. You had one. Then I'm sure it's still there or not, but yeah, you could definitely did.
So the movie soundtrack's all there. I don't know if we're going to do anything like that with the series. Series isn't the same as a movie soundtrack. It's a little different.
Right. There's a lot of really good music in the movie too. There's a lot of very good music in the from the actual Andy Griffith Show. Basically, reworked music for that. Plus, we had the Mayberry Man music that was actually new original song. That
The
was
theme song was an original song performed by Levi Riggs, who has come back and helped us in the series as well. So when sort of the big finish, there's a Levi Riggs song in the big climax of the series.
Right.
Baraka Valley has some tunes in there. Those are always fun.
Mhm.
All right. Another question is, will there be a screening of the series at Mayberry Days? Not unless they ask us to. There's been no dialogue about that at all. Not sure I'll even be able to make it back to Mayberry Days this year. It just gets the programming, that festival, it's so jam packed.
It is very packed. We did show it last year as a premiere. It was there the Wednesday, I believe, before Mayberry Day started, or
right. So we did our private red carpet screening
right.
last Mayberry Days there. Yep.
Right.
And but maybe maybe during the Mayberry meetup in the summer, you were able to do that with the movie last Mayberry meetup.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe I can find out from somebody if I can do that or not.
Well,
that would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that.
So I got a question that Clay asked. He said, "Did we ever figure out who Mr. Swamp was?" So if you, I don't want to give away the end of the movie. Hopefully everybody watched that. But that was not real either. Just so you know that if you watched the movie, I won't give that away. So go and watch the movie. If you didn't, stay into the credits, because there's stuff that happens in the credit that implies this answer. But that wasn't true. We do not know who Mr. Swamp was. We have never been able to figure that out in all these years. And yes, we've asked all the cast members. We've asked the producers. They all remember the man that played Mr. Swamp, but they don't know his name. So it's still a mystery. And we kind of feel like it's one of those things, like when Floyd or Howard Sprague caught old Sam, the carp in the silver carp. And, it's always out there for us to try to figure out. But if somebody ever figures it out, it's going to, I don't know. It's like finding out. I don't know. It's like catching that silver carp. Maybe we don't want to do that. We have to let it go again.
Well, or if we figure it out, we'll put them in an aquarium in the middle of town.
That's a good idea.
I thought Dennis Beale was Mr. Schwump.
That's true. Dennis Beale is our modern day Mr. Swamp.
Can't get a word out of that guy.
He's not very talkative, that fella, at all.
So I'm going to trust you have more time to scan these comments, but all right, so we did the clip of the week. We did that's about all I have. So if you've got any pressing questions, throw them in the comments real fast. If we didn't catch your,
So just as a reminder, the series is being shown during Mayberry Comes to Scottsburg. So you were asking about it being at Mayberry Days. It is going to be shown there.
Oh, that's true. Yes.
So I do want to mention that.
This is a good question, and I probably should have addressed this as well. So Adrian asks, will Mayberry Man, the series, be on DVD and digital to purchase? So for our backers, our Indiegogo backers at a certain level and above, there will be a DVD. I don't know at this point if that'll be available to purchase to the general public. So, and really there's no opportunities to get a level that includes that DVD. Although if you're a sponsor during our current fundraiser, I'm sure we can throw in a DVD. But so we don't have a DVD release plan yet. I mean, that's a whole nother process of mastering DVDs and things. I imagine we will at some point. It's just when we're sort of self-distributing again. And so these are all things that just take time and work and investment, right?
Right.
So
we did have one comment in here. Somebody named Eric Lowry said the judge in the movie was amazing. Will we see more of him in the future?
Well, he might get his own spinoff series.
It'll be
kind of like Night Court,
like Night Court. Yes, that would be awesome. So Eric Lowry, if you don't know, Eric Lowry is the judge. He's our mayor. He's the mayor in the movie, and he does appear in the series. He's in at least a couple of episodes, at least.
Jeff Gossett had a good suggestion that he can marry Chris and Kate if they ever get married.
Oh, that's a great idea. He could be the officiate. That's great, and I do believe he actually can do that. He is actually.
Oh, really?
Yes, he actually has the ability to do that. So we'd have to be careful, or they would actually, they're both already married, actually. So this would be a problem. But,
so I hope I'm not inventing this memory, but if you're a fan of Ron Howard's first film, Grand Theft Auto, there's a wedding scene at the end of that movie. Where the couple runs off to Las Vegas and there's this big car chase, car wrecks, the whole bit. And Ron Howard is, the male lead, and he gets, sweeps the girl off and they run off to get married in Vegas. Well, at the end of the movie, they have the wedding ceremony, and I was told that the guy performing the wedding ceremony in the movie was the guy who actually married Ron and Cheryl Howard.
Oh, wow. That's a good bit of little trivia.
At least that was the story around the Howell household when I was younger. So
that's pretty cool.
Running out of people to verify that. So I have to ask Ron if that's true. Clint should know. Clint did tell me once that, because he was probably, I don't know, 16 years old when Ron got married. And he said he drove them away in that Volkswagen Bug that you see the picture floating around.
The one Ron still has.
Yeah.
The car he still has that they went on their first date in. That's pretty cool.
Yep. All right. Any other questions?
Should I call him Mr. Howard in case he sees this? Mr. Howard has. I don't know.
So, all right. So since we're running out of things to talk about, let me see if I have another clip. Fill some time, Alan.
So Kurt's saying, will there be any more updates after the online screening? So I guess after the screening coming up week after next, will there be any more updates?
Yeah, we'll probably try to keep it going, because what we want to do is kind of build some momentum for when it actually is released, so that we just keep people talking, thinking about it, sharing. So that's what we're trying to do. There's certainly there's no money in it for us to put these shows on. No one's paying us to do this. So
no, we're not getting paid for this. No, feel free.
Let me go back to that headline. It's where'd it go? There it is. Mayberry Man, love letter to fans or shameless cash grab?
Definitely not a shameless cash grab. I don't think. Definitely not. People have asked me now. I'll clear this up because people have asked me this question before. They asked me how much I got paid to do the Mayberry Man movie. I didn't really get paid anything to do the Mayberry Man movie. I had never made a movie in my life or acted other than doing Floyd. And when I was asked to be in the movie, I agreed to do it because this was a cool experience, a great experience, just like many of you guys who actually donated money to be a part of making the movie or the series. It was a very cool experience for me. And so I didn't get anything. I don't get anything from that other than just the joy of being a part of it and just seeing how the movies are made. It was a wonderful experience, but that is not any way going to help me retire in my life or anything like that. So while people think you're in a movie, you probably get, no,
it was an apprenticeship.
It was apprentice. They took a huge chance on having me be the large part of the movie and series that I have been able to be. So I want to thank Court and Stark for believing in me enough to let me do that. And it has been a wonderful experience. So
we paid you big bucks for the series though.
Oh yeah, you did. I did get a little bit. I did get a little bit of money, a little. It was a little.
When we did the series, we raised more money. We brought in private investors. So we tried to pay everybody that wasn't like a backer to do it, so we tried to treat everybody professionally. It just doesn't go very far. So it was still just a tiny bit.
But it was a thought that counts. I really appreciate it. I really do. So thank you. It's been, all of it's been a great experience, and I hope everybody else has been a part of it. And so many we've had on here, in the last few weeks, you've had some guests talking about this. I think they enjoyed it a lot as well. So,
well, that was always our approach. I mean, there's this thing in show business, whatever, filmmaking. It's like, it's not right to ask someone to pay money to be in a film. It's like, well, not if they're an actor, if they're a professional actor. No, of course not. They shouldn't have to pay to be in it. If they want to do it for the experience, to build a resume or whatever, that's up to them. But for non-actors, it's more like going to fantasy camp.
Yeah.
So that's how I view that opportunity. It's like, this is an experience, and we're going to try to give you a great experience. If you invest in this, then hopefully and I think we did give everybody definitely the money's worth.
Yeah, it was a good experience. Even the extras. Now the extras had it kind of hard. I admit, because there were times, where they were walking in a crowd scene, and then we would shoot the scene 10, 7, 8, 10 times. I don't know. And they would have to go back to one, which is back to their starting spot, and then walk it again, do the same actions over and over. And sometimes they were in the sun, and the actual primary people being filmed were in the shade. So, they were, it was,
you big shots,
yeah, we were in the shade. And of course, I told this before, that one time that was going on, and it was the first scene we shot, I think, or maybe the second one. But I was like, I realized at some point, oh my gosh, if I mess up, they all have to do that again. I was like, no, don't think of this.
Well, and I remember like making some videos, like sort of tutorials and things. I tried to prepare people. It's like, this is a job. It's like, yeah, it's a cool experience, but you're going to be working.
Right.
And hopefully people came in, but you never know. Until you've been on a movie set, you have no idea how long and drawn out it is. And it's still cool, but
it was cool. But I mean, it was kind of interesting when they would set up lights and things. You don't think about this, but every shot they have to, even here where I am, I've got lights on, that to light me. And this is just in my house, but every time they did that, they had lighting and sound and everything they'd have to do. And they would adjust those lights forever. And somebody told me, I think it was Stark said, if you don't control these people, they will just continually change the lights, and they're never happy with them. But it's those kind of things that you don't realize that happens when you're watching a TV show or a movie, and you get to see that if you're kind of working. And what opportunity it really was to be able to work on the Mayberry Man set, because it was a calm set, as far as there wasn't yelling, there wasn't people were generally happy. They were generally
Right.
happy. And so it was a good set to have been a part of, both the series and the movie.
Yeah, we got that comment a lot from people, people from within the industry, and it's like, this is different. This isn't like the typical film set, So we tried to make it Mayberry, So
you did a good job.
Well, thank you. And we couldn't have done it without all the fans supporting us and pitching in, and so hopefully we delivered to their expectation.
You had one little quick question here about how was it working with Al Unser Jr.?
Neither of us know, because
I didn't get to. Yeah, watching the videos of it, looks like it was probably pretty fun, but I wasn't there.
he was all reports were that he was really easy to work with and happy to help out, and it was. We were fortunate to get a name, a little bit of a cameo there. And I happened to be out of town that week. So I did all the prep and then handed it off. And so I wasn't there. Yeah. You have to ask Jeff Gossett.
Yeah, that's right.
He was there working behind the sces.
We should have asked the director, Denham. He was here last week. We could have asked him.
Yeah, well.
We could have asked him. Yeah.
All right. So, Alan, you're not going to be with us, I don't think, next week, but we will see you hopefully the week after that, and for the premiere and all that. And hopefully we'll have a show next week.
Hopefully.
We're running out of things to talk about. No, we'll have another clip of the week, and maybe we'll dig up some more outtakes.
Oh yeah, I need to get some of those for, what do you call that? If you're an actor, a sizzle reel, is that what you call that? I need all those outtakes. You think that would help me?
Yeah, no, I don't think that would help. All right, thanks everybody for joining us. Have a good night.
Thanks, guys.
Well, hey, if you just like that clip, hit the like button. There's going to be plenty more.
If you want more videos about The Andy Griffith Show, be sure to hit subscribe and click that little bell icon so you're notified whenever we post a new video. Thanks for watching.
Shazam! Come on, baby.